Hey there, this is attorney Sarah Holmes of Holmes Business Law P.C. We are a business and general counsel law firm located in Philadelphia and the suburbs. Today we are talking about 5 single-member LLC mistakes to avoid. There are a lot. There's a lot more than 5, but the top 5 would be: number 1, filing your documents improperly. We get this all the time. We find people that have filed documents, they don't understand maybe what a registered agent is, they don't understand what types of boxes need to get checked, what types of information the state needs, and they get a rejection. Or sometimes they file their EIN numbers wrong. So you want to make sure whenever you file documents with the state that you really are dotting all the I's, you are crossing every T, and that those documents are filed properly. If not, you can make amendments to them. The amendments typically cost you additional money. It may cause more consternation in terms of having to call and deal with the state, which is not always an easy process. What is the second mistake? The second mistake is not doing a federal trademark search for your name before you file your LLC. Now, if you are just opening a generic shell LLC, maybe you have a consulting company that's just your own name, this may not be a big issue for you. However, if you have a different type of business, especially if you have a business in what I would call a competitive category, like you're doing consumer goods, maybe you have a pet business, you're selling products, you're doing something clever, then the name of your business is probably very important to you. In that instance, just registering an LLC with your state doesn't mean that someone else might not already be using that business name somewhere else. So just getting the name from your own state does not mean that you might not already be infringing or that there might not be trademark issues down the line for you. So if you have a good business name that you want to protect, before you ever file your LLC, it would be wise for you to conduct a federal trademark search. Next mistake, thinking that your registration of an LLC in your state means you have a trademark or gives you trademark rights. That is not exactly correct. All that means, many times people come back to us and they say, hey, I registered this LLC, it was available for use in this state, and now I got a cease and desist letter from someone else in a different state telling me I have to change the name of my business. How can that be? Because my state let me take this name. Well, your state letting you use that name, again, like the last point, has nothing to do with whether someone else has a federal trademark registration. That's why it's wise to do the federal trademark search first. So just because you're able to get the name in your state does not mean that you have federal trademark rights to that name. Next mistake is having no operating agreement. That may sound odd to you if you're a single member LLC, because the operating agreement typically covers multi-members and is more of a partnership type document. However, if you have a single member LLC, you really should have a very simple, maybe a couple pages operating agreement template. Number 1, the bank will probably ask you for it, but number 2, it's like another step to show later on if you run into legal trouble, hey, I'm really treating this as a separate entity myself. Here's my operating agreement. This is not me, it's a separate legal entity. And here's some more proof that I'm doing all the right things. So having an operating agreement would potentially be another single member LLC mistake if you don't have one. And finally, the biggest mistake you can make as a single member LLC is to not separate your finances, meaning you set up an LLC, but you continue to run all the money for your business in and out of your own personal bank account. This is a big no-no. Part of the whole reason that you set up an LLC in the first place is to protect your own self and your own financial assets from any liability in the future. However, if you mix and match your bank accounts and your money, you are blowing that protection of that LLC such that if you get into trouble later, someone may be able to come after you personally and get at your personal assets, your personal money, and again, not something you want if your whole intention in setting up the LLC in the first place was to potentially protect yourself from liability. So if you have any questions about a single member LLC, protecting yourself from liability, or you need other legal help, feel free to reach out to our office. Our number is 215-482-0285. Thanks.